I started recording already, right? So this is carefully listen because it's a small question and very important question also. About what is server and client, peer-to-peer, workgroup and domain, Active Directory, group policy, and DHCP and DNS. These are the main important questions from this topic. So whether I told here or not, server client. So before that one I said no. So what are the things? What is peer-to-peer? What is server and client? What is workgroup and domain? What is Active Directory? If possible, try what is group policy? What is group policy? What is DHCP? What is DNS? These are the main important questions from this topic, guys. Okay. So that's what I'm telling. So what is a workgroup? What is a domain? What is workgroup and what is domain? So workgroup and domain. Workgroup is a decentralized administration, no centralized control. Every system or a PC has their own administrator. One PC user cannot log into other PC. Okay, this is things I have written, but if I tell it is look like some gibberish. So what I'm trying to say, I will write down here. Okay, so separately I'm writing these things. Okay. Here is a small explanation I given, but we cannot talk. First point is workgroup, guys. Interest is quite easy as compared to this Google creation. See, I have a computer same as like a work group. Okay, this is a work group, guys. My computer is in work group. Your computer is also in the work group. In generally, any device in the network, any device, any Microsoft device by default, they are in the work group only. Okay, every device by default they are in the work group only. Okay, whether it is an individual device, maybe separate device, or maybe they are in the network. Okay, they are in the work group only. For example, I have taken this PCA B. I have a computer. The computer name is PCA, PCB, PCB. These look like they are in the work group. Think like they are in the work group. Okay. Each computer having their own username. For example, first computer name, the first computer username is Aman. I'm taking simple names. Okay. Nishu. Okay. Taking very simple. So every user, you have a computer, right? So you have a computer, okay, and you have a computer, and you have your own account is there. You have your own account is there. right? You have your computer, you have your own account is there. For example, first computer is Aman is a user who is administrating APC. Aman only is a main administrator account. Aman is a administrator of A. Nishu is a administrator of B. Tanu is a administrator of CPC. Rahul is a administration of DPC. Karan is a administration of EPC. Okay. So each individual devices is a peer-to-peer type. Okay. So each individual PC has their own administrator account. Okay. This is the point. Okay. So if something setting has to be done in APC, who will do it? Aman will do it. Application has to be installed in APC. Who will do it? Aman will do it. Some uninstallation of application should be done in a BPC. Who will do it? Nishu will be do it. Nishu will do it. Okay. So this is what happened. Certain settings has to be changed in CPC. Tanu will do it. Okay. So each individual user has their own administrator account. That administrator account user will able to do certain changes kind of stuff. Okay. Settings changes means settings, they will do changes, installation and installation of applications, the control those system in their self. But Aman cannot able to log into NCPC. Aman cannot able to log into BPC. Aman cannot able to log into CPC. Okay. One user, Aman account is in APC. Aman will get authenticate in APC only. Why? Because of APC contains Aman username and password in APC only, not in BRCPC. Okay. So here I given simple steps here to understand the few points about your work group. Okay. For example, PC1 or PC, some few changes we will do it. Okay. So PC1, so instead of PC1, APC, so is administrated by Aman. Aman is a local administrator of PC1. So what he can able to do, can do change setting, he can install applications, uninstall application and give permissions. So Aman can manage PC1A but other PCs. Okay. Issue user information stored in PCB, not in other PCs. So in issue log into PCB and authenticate issue user. How? Because information and password information user information and password information stored in PCB. Okay, so to do, okay, so this is the part I am trying to see. It is an explanation for account guys. So Aman can able to log into PCA because of Aman user account information information, password information only, so he can log into PCA. Okay, Aman can able to install application, change settings, give permissions, can manage PCA, but he cannot manage other systems. So this is what I'm trying to say. Guys, here it is. For example, I have 6 systems. All 6 systems I want to a default thing like I want to make a changes in a desktop policy must be like this only compulsory they should maintain, and this kind of desktop setting is there. I have 5 computers. I want to go to each and every PC to do 5 computers because it is not controlled. It can be managed individually, not central. It is can manage individually, not centrally. You cannot manage this workgroup PCs centrally. You can manage individually. So what you have to do? You have to go to each and every device. You have to do settings because user can able to do it, but user may not know how to do it, right? So as you are maintaining infrastructure, like you are having your own PC, you can manage. No problem. But if it is a group of PCs, if you are working in an organization, okay, if you are working in an organization, you are administrator of all those PCs. So you have to go to each and every PC and you have to do all the settings. If it is a 5 computers, no problem. 10 computers, no problem. Think like 100 computers, 200 computers, 500 computers. You have to do all settings by going to one by one. We have to go to each and every PC. You have to do all the settings like a network related setting, maybe desktop related settings, or firewall related settings, or storage related settings. You have to do by going to each and every device. That is become very difficult to manage. Understand, guys? Workgroup is good. Workgroup is every individual PC. Even I am also in the same workgroup PC only. No centralized control. No one is controlling your devices. You have to administrate your own PC. Okay, the PC user account is having every PC has their own administrator account. So one PC user, I cannot administrate other PC in the workgroup. User and password settings information stored in their own PCs cannot control or manage individually. Sorry, we can manage individually, not centrally. So because of that, if you have individual PCs, like I have my own PC, no problem. But in organizations, you have a multiple computers, are there multiple to one by one. Like you want to do certain settings, like a firewall related settings, or maybe it is a desktop related settings, maybe it is application related settings, or it be related settings. So this we cannot do, we cannot able to perform by going to one by one if it is a large number of devices are there. That is the point in that. By guys, you search in a Google about a domain, it will show you different type of answers. If you search in a Google about a domain, try AD domain, Active Directory domain. Okay, then we will get this information. Otherwise, workgroup and domain differences. That is an important question. Workgroup and domain differences. You can search like that also. What is a domain? Domain is a centralized administration. Centralized controller is there called a domain controller is nothing but a server. Domain administrator is admin for all systems in the domain. In the domain, what are the devices are there? They're all administrated by domain administrator only. You can enforce various type of settings. Various type of settings means it can be a network related settings, or maybe it can be a desktop related setting or maybe application related settings. You can enforce various type of settings to the large number of users and computers at a time using group policies. Okay, using group policies. So that's point I will going to put it in a end of this. User informations, computer information, group service resources information stored in a centralized system or a central server called a domain controller. Okay, domain controller. So mainly it is Active Directory database. Domain user can log into any domain in the computer, any domain computer. Okay, so this is what we have discussed. May possible I will add some lines, but I'm going to this domain. So here also there is small explanation about a domain like this. Okay, so here I have a server, guys. This is again I'm going to draw a picture. Try to understand, guys, work group and domain differences. All our PCs are in a work group, but if it is an organization related, okay, you are an organization, then definitely it is compulsory. It is very difficult to administrate individual devices. Okay, difficult to administrate individual devices. Don't worry, I will reduce this sizes. Should not make it much thinner. Okay, so I will do it again. Again, already I'm telling this is a representation of device. So the box represent server. Okay, so this is my server name is server A. Okay, so this is my domain controller. Domain controller. Okay, we need bigger, that's also domain controller. What is the domain controller contains? Active Directory service. AD. That space is not. What is this Active Directory service? It having a Active Directory database and it authenticate users. Okay, what is the Active Directory database means? It contains user information, computer information, group information, resource information also. I'm adding users, guys. I'm adding a users in an Active Directory. Username is, for example, user1, user2, and user3, user4, user5, user6. I have like this. Okay, and these are the computers. Earlier it is a work group. Now they are in the domain. Okay, for example, it is a PCA, PCB, PCD, PCE. Why it has become thinner? Okay. So add these devices to my domain. So how it is stored? It's stored in the database about a PCA, PCB, PCC, PCD. I add only 4 devices. The fifth one, PCA, I didn't add. Remember that one? I didn't add only first 4 devices, not all the devices. Okay. So users I have created a domain controller, not in the individual machines. And I add these machines. Earlier it is in workgroup. Now they are in the domain. So I add it to the domain. Okay, I told you are a member of domain now for PCA, PCB, PCC. You know, okay. Next, this user one can log into PCA. Where okay, I try to log in with user one in a PCA. What will happen? The request will send to domain controller for authentication. Domain controller authenticate user and it will tell yes you can able to log in. Okay, who is going to authenticate? User one, domain controller only. Who is going to authenticate? User one, domain controller. Why? The domain controller having user information, not individual PCs. Even if I try to log into user 2 here, same thing. User 2, that PCB will send a request to the domain controller for authentication. So domain controller authenticate, so user will get authenticated. Okay, this is what I'm trying to say. Okay, just for example, try to log in with a PCB user 2, PC3, PCC user 3, PCD user 4. Okay, I done login. Now I'm trying to log into user 5 in PCE. Is it going to be login or not? I'm trying to log in to PCE with user 5. Can I log in? Login this happens? No. Okay. It cannot be login. It cannot be login. Why? Because of PCE not in the Active Directory database. It is a not part of domain. It is a not part of domain. Guys, understand? Okay, domain. Okay, this is a domain. Domain has a domain name. So are you in this particular domain or not? Example abc.com. My domain name is abcd.com. Just for example, domain.com something. My domain name is domain.com or abc.com, example.com, contasso.com. So that is my domain name. So PCA, PCB, PCC, PCD, user 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are belongs to this domain only. Administrator of domain controller, I have an admin account is also there. Okay, that administrator can log in. So I'll keep this box aside, guys. Okay, because it is this. You know, I can log in. User can log into anything. Tomorrow I want to log into user one here. Not same time, but when I log into today I log in to PCA. Tomorrow I will log into PCB. Okay, a user can log into any PC anytime, any device. Okay, a user is can able to log into, okay, any device in the domain. Okay, and this is also require little small space required for me. And why? Because of I use a word, I have a printer in my domain. So this is printer. The printer name is, for example, P1. Okay, printer name is example P1. Printer is in the domain. How you know it is in the domain? Yes, it should be in this database, printer database. So this is a resource kind of stuff. Even information is also in the domain. Like any domain user want to access the printer, they should take a permission, authorization from the domain. Guys, this is about a small points in the Active Directory domain. There is certain lines I have given. Please go through these lines. Okay. The user information stored in the user information means username, password stored in the domain controller. Computer joined in the domain called a domain computers, guys. The computers, those are joined in the domain, there are a domain computers. Okay. They're called a domain computers. Okay. Next one is a user in the domain called a domain users. The domain user can log into in their any domain computers. Means user one can able to log in PCA or PCB or PCD or PCE. So not PCE, CRD. Okay. Domain admin account. If you have a domain admin account, the account is administrator of all devices. Okay, domain user log into domain computer, domain controller authenticate domain user. Okay. This is the domain computer and domain controller authenticate user. Okay, so this is the points I am trying to tell, but the picture is not setting in any place. What I'm trying to do is I am going to the world style. This is good. Guys, this is the work group and domain. Again, I'm telling about a work group and domain, guys. Work group is a individual, okay, decentralized administration. Okay, work group devices is administrated by their own administrator accounts are there, their own users accounts are there, no centralized control. One PC user cannot log into other PCs. User information, password information stores in their own PCs. So automatically when user is logging, their PCs will authenticate. Can control individually, not centrally. Number of devices in the organization increases, difficult to manage individually. Okay, centralized administration. Domain is a centralized administration. That centralized controller is there called a domain controller. Domain administrator is the admin of all domains in the system. So user user information, computer information, group information, resource information, okay, service information stored in your centralized system or centralized server called a domain controller in the domain Active Directory database. Domain controller can log in, domain user can log into any domain computer. Okay, we can no need to go to do settings by going to individually, but we can do centrally using group policies. Okay, what are the settings?
Sir,
Tell me.
sir, we can have like multiple devices in a same network, but outside the domain. Like if there is a domain system, but we can have a device which is not a part of the domain, but a part of that system, like that network.
Yeah, the PCE is in the network,
Yes.
but not in the domain.
Oh yeah.
This is, can put, it is not in abc.com domain. Okay, this is not in the abc.com domain. That's why you cannot able to log it. That does not mean it won't communicate. Communicate in the sense of normal ping commands, that kind of stuff. But it cannot access P1 because of P1 access is required. It is a resource of domain. You cannot able to access like that. Okay. Domain is not able to access. Yeah, somewhere I'm in a network, so using group policies. Using okay, so the settings means settings can be a desktop related settings, okay, a network related settings or firewall related settings, application related settings. These are all a different type of settings. You can able to do it with the group policies. Okay, this is a few points, guys. Then next one is last one. I will tell for this continuation. Of course, I have some pictures are there to know are you in a domain or not. There is a few things, but this is easiest way. Okay. You can go to this screen. I got it from here. You know this search. Already you know this one. Search in search about your PC. Okay, in that one you got about and then rename this PC first. Okay, so if you go to this one, guys, I'm going to about your PC. Okay, about your PC. I'm in Workgroup, so rename this PC. So you will get you are in the Workgroup. Okay, how to join into the domain? Click on change, and it is asking member of domain or member of Workgroup. I cannot join into the domain because of mine is Windows 10 Home. Mine is Windows 10 Home. So I cannot join into the domain. If I'm a pro or enterprise, you can join into the domain. Okay, homes cannot able to join the domain. Pro and enterprises can able to join to the domain. Member of domain, member of work group. Okay, I'm in a work group. Okay, right. If I want to join the domain, what I do? I have to select domain and give the domain name. Click OK. Then domain control asks for authentication. I have to get authenticated. Okay, so that's the point I'm trying to say. Last point as per this one, plus I will share one video, guys. Please watch that video. Okay, that video contains information about that information is about your what we can say, what is Active Directory, what is domain controller, okay, how to create a user, how to log in a user. I told simple story. I created a user in the domain controller, I log into the client, and I created a group policy, I enforce the policy to the devices. Both are I explained in practically. Okay, so that's I will share it. So maybe after some time. Okay, so or maybe you can go to the things. Okay, so meanwhile, guys, Active Directory domain. The domain or an Active Directory domain. Domain is an English word. You can simply say what is a domain means. Different meanings are came. Domain means actually group of things, group of individual, group of things, like a grouping. Like my domain is training. My domain is networking related training, not software related training. Okay, my domain is networking. My domain is servers. My domain is programming. My domain is testing. This is a domain grouping. But when you search about a domain, you will get a different kind of answers. But better to search as a AD domain. So the domain in the sense here is an Active Directory domain. It is a logical administrative boundary of users and computers. See, what is the administrative boundary? Network wise, all devices are in same network, but there is a boundary. Only abc.com is belongs to this server and these computers and this printer, not belongs to outside of that one. Okay, it is a logical administrative boundary of users and computers. What is an Active Directory? Active Directory, 2 points in the Active Directory, guys. Active Directory database. Okay, first point is Active Directory database, store identity of users, groups, computer information, resource information in the database. Okay, that is Active Directory. Second point in the Active Directory is Active Directory authenticate users when they log into the domain. Okay, when they're accessing any domain resources, when they log into any domain computers, so Active Directory authenticate that user. Okay, so 2 points, guys. One is Active Directory database, Active Directory authentication. Active Directory database stores user, group, computers, services, resource information. Active Directory authenticates users when they log into domain computers kind of stuff. Okay, different words are there. If you want to add, I will add it. That word also. The Active Directory database name is New Technology Directory Access Tree. New Technology Directory Service Directory Information Tree. NTDS.DIT Active Directory name. Authentication protocol name. So Active Directory is also doing authentication. That is called a Kerberos authentication protocol it is using. Okay, guys. Next, it is a Microsoft service from since 2000 onwards. This Active Directory name changed to ADDS, called Active Directory Domain Services since 2008. Okay, Active Directory very simple. There is 2 points important. What is first one is database, second one is authentication. Okay. What is Azure AD? My point is, what is Azure AD? AD means Active Directory Service. Azure is a Microsoft public cloud. You want to get Active Directory services instead of your local server. You want to get Active Directory services from Azure cloud, that is Azure AD services. That's it. Actually, I can easily complete everything with DHCP DNS, but your batch is special batch. Everything goes very slow, but no problem. So we'll see tomorrow, guys, about the DHCP DNS, how much we can able to complete. Okay. So tomorrow one more day is there now, so we'll complete it. So remaining things I will share the links, and also I said now work group. I mean, the practical part I told. It's a very old video, so we don't have any headings for that one. So that's why I can easily recognize work group domain. Especially one batch have taken this work group domain practical part for mainly SD batch only. And also you can search what is group policies. Okay. It can be this. So somewhere I've written this is that one. Okay. It is time division. So 45 minutes after that one, I directly practical, sir. Their starting is explanation about what is work group and domain. If you feel bored already it is there, then you can try to go through this practical part, how to join into the domain, how to create a user, how to log in, how to reset the password, how to create a what we can say, sorry, okay, how to
Sorry, ask a question.
tell me.
So we have four PCs. PC4 is connected to our printer, and all the PCs are connected in the peer-to-peer mechanism. And we want to take a printout from PC A. How we can do that?
I didn't understand anything.
So we have four PCs. Hello.
Yeah, tell me, tell me.
Hello. Suppose we have four PCs, and the PC4 is connected with a printer, and I want to take a printout from PC1. So how can I do that, sir?
You have a printer, you have Active Directory environment or what?
No, sir. It is a peer-to-peer.
Peer-to-peer, and you have a in the network, and there is a printer is connected to. It is a simple. If in case it is connected to a local printer like this, this is in the network, and this is in the network. Like this is APC, this is BPC. From BPC, you want to take a print from this printer, which is not connected directly to the B. It is connected to A, but A and B are in the network. Is it a question?
Yes,
Yeah, you have to share printer from
yes,
here, and you have to access the printer from here like a / IP address of APC. Okay, then the sharing will be open, connect to the printer and access. So I have to go to 45 minutes later after this. This is the 45 minutes later. Guys, here I explained how to join to the domain. Okay, I showed how to join to the domain practically. I think it is already joined. This is how server is look like, how to create a user, how to create a domain control. Domain control installation I didn't not in this video, it is in different videos. If you want to learn how to set up a Windows server, okay, this is how I creating a user. I am creating a user here. Once I create a user in the domain controller, then I went to, I created a password for a user. I went to the client PC, that is my Windows 10, which is already in the domain. Okay. So I am trying to log into the user which is I created in the domain controller. Okay. So I created a user in the domain controller and I log into the client system with that user. So I didn't create a user in the client. I created user in the domain. Okay. That's what I am trying to show you. So no need to watch from entire, this is entirely explanation of Active Directory kind of stuff only, means work group domain. From this 45 minutes to this is showing how to log into the domain. Okay. And explanation is also there. If you forget a password, okay, so then actually forgetting password is a service ticket, not incident ticket. I may be mistake here, but forgetting password is a service ticket. So then if you got a service ticket, then you log into the server, then you to reset the password, and with the reset password you have to test it. Okay, those things are there here. Group policy is separate video, I think so, but just try this one. Check it once when you have a free time, now or later, no problem. Okay, but if you see today, it is very useful. Okay, that's my point, guys. That is for today. So I will add this link to your notes for understanding. For understanding this work group domain kind of concept plus practical also. That's it for today, guys. Okay.